on. Sorry. Like I said, it was a big rush to finally get on. So let me go ahead and, oh, hold on. We need to turn that down. I don't need to hear myself twice. So let me go ahead and flip my phone and we'll get started. And okay, I need to flip. I'm okay. I need to flip this. All right. I'm sorry. I am really sorry. All right. How do I put this? All right. I'm sorry. I am trying to flip this thing, and I'm having a little bit of a delay on this, and it's upside down. Turn this. Again, I am so sorry, guys. I don't think anybody else is on here at the moment, which thank God, because this is like a hot mess at the moment. But come on, work. Turn this on. All right. We're just going to give this a go, and we're going to stop messing around with this. Okay, so for my first card, we're going to do a little bit of watercoloring. So Stampin' Up had provided to us in advance a card making supply list listing all the bundles that we would be using, and then like the papers, the inks, the embellishments, tools, and adhesives. So for these 3 bundles, the Earthen textures, yeah, when I ordered that, I just missed it where the stamp set went on back order. So with that being said, I had to modify it and use something that I had already had. So they also provided for us all of the measurements for the cardstock. And, we did these cards today, so there's a little bit of a learning curve that I had gotten from when we were doing it. But here's what this card was supposed to look like. Again, because I didn't have the stamp set, I had to modify it a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start this card with the pieces to where we're going to die cut them. And with that being said, let me go get my die cutting machine because I'm going to need that. Okay, I'm with it today. All right, so let's just get started on this. Okay, so I have a 8.5 by 5.5 inch piece of blueberry bushel cardstock, scored at 4 1/4. And I'm going to go ahead and fold and burnish that. We'll put that aside. Then on our watercolor paper, this is the Fluid 100 watercolor paper. I have, let's see, I am using using. So for this particular card, for the greeting, because the greeting's from that Earthen Textures stamp set, I am using one of the greetings from the Very Best Occasions. I'm going to use Endlessly Grateful. And I'm going to stamp that in Blueberry Bushel ink. And I'm going to stamp that right down here, like off towards the middle and the bottom. Okay. And then I'm going to actually die cut these pieces out, so then that way we can go ahead and watercolor them. Okay. So we're going to use this die, this one, and this one right here. Okay, let's bring the machine in. This way. Okay. And so we're going to put that there. Move this over a little bit. So we're going to die cut this one fan leaf. And this one here. And then I'm going to center this on here. Use some post-it tape to hold it down. Go ahead and run this through. Sorry if everything's shaking, guys. Okay. Let me run that through again, because we're going through watercolor paper. It's a little bit thicker than our cardstock. Okay. Then use my Take Your Pick tool to poke this out. Yeah, the plan was actually to do this on YouTube. However, this morning when I was in the process of looking to set it up, I realized, yeah, I can't go live with my cell phone on YouTube until I have reached at least 50 subscribers to my channel. So if you are watching this and you haven't yet, could you do me a favor and go to Blue City Stampin' Studio YouTube channel and subscribe? I would really, really appreciate it. There's a few videos out there now. I think there's like about 7 of them that I have already done, and I'm continuing to do some more content. I do, at the moment, there's a Throwback Thursday, in which majority of all the products that I use are retired Stampin' Up product. Then on Saturday morning, so this morning it posted, I do a Step It Up Saturday, where I do 3 cards, starting with something simple and then working my way up to a wow card. There's more that's coming, and I'm also gonna do, like, around the middle of the month, I will be doing at least one of each of the projects that are in the paper pumpkin kits. just so you can see what those look like. And then I'm planning to also do something with Christmas cards. So like on the first of, about the first of the month, I'm looking to make one or two cards, to give you inspiration for Christmas cards. Okay, so we have our pieces die cut. And so let's see. So for these pieces here, on their card, there's an actual vase stamp that they use that would give it, some color and some texture. So since I don't have that, I am using the Waves of Inspiration stamp set. I'm going to be using this big wave stamp to stamp it like 2 different times just to give some texture onto these pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ink this up. And I'm going to go ahead and just come above it and stamp. And then I'm going to ink it again. And go over it again just to kind of fill it in a little bit more. Like so. And do it for this piece too. Okay. Here. So I hope everybody had a great day. Here in Memphis, well, for me, it was a glorious day because our temperature was 66, and it finally felt like fall to me. And we didn't have all that high heat and humidity. So it was awesome. But ended up spending most of the day inside anyway. So, okay, so we got that stamped. Put that aside. Let me go ahead and clean these. I'm using our Stampin' Scrub. This is one of our really big blocks. Actually have to invest in some more smaller ones. Okay. And then let me just clean this really quick. Okay. And now we're going to do a little bit of watercoloring. So I have here in my little palette, I put like 1 drop of re-inker. I have, looks like, I think Pecan Pie, Lemon Lime Twist, Daffodil Delight, and Lost Lagoon. Let me go ahead and add a little bit of water to my palette. Actually, no, this is Lost Lagoon. In the list of supplies, Stampin' Up! Had listed using their Stampin' Right markers and just like scribbling on a block to to do the watercoloring. But at the moment I don't have those new colors, so I kind of improvise and I'm doing it this way. I'm just adding a little bit of water to my colors here. Okay, put that aside. Move that up here. So these 2 stamped images that we just did, I'm just going to go ahead and use a little water just to like spread the ink a little bit, like so, and then I'm just going to put it aside to let it dry. And we're going to watercolor these pieces. We're going to set it all aside to dry, and then I'll go on to the next card, and then at the end we'll go back to this card and go ahead and assemble it. Okay, clean off my brush. So we'll put these aside, put them over there. And then for our big leaf, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wet this down. And then I'm going to come in with my lemon lime twist, and I'm going to go ahead and brush that on. For this, it's just brush it on, nothing perfect. Just to add some color to it. I think I need a little bit more for inker. So that's lemon lime twist. Add another drop to that. There we go. I want some brighter color on this. Do the stem. Okay. Put that aside. And go ahead and clean my brush. And then for our little one, I'm going to come in and I'm going to take my Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to go ahead and brush that on. Down a little bit brighter. Now, Daffodil Delight. Whoops. Okay, that's much better. Brush. Now before I add the other colors to this, let's see, that looks like it's okay. I'm going to let that one just dry a little bit. And I'm going to come in with my Lost Lagoon. Let's see how. And I'm just going to add some strokes of this color on to the leaves. Okay, so we'll let that sit and dry. And our Daffodil Delight piece. I'm going to come in with the Kanpai, and I'm just going to add a couple of strokes of this color just to give some interest. On the original card that Stampin' Up had for their event, they actually had this colored in lemon lime twist, so a green kind of like with a little bit of brown on it, but on the picture it actually looked like it was more yellow. So okay, so we're done watercoloring. So this is the messy part of all the cards. I'm just going to clean my brushes, and I'm going to take these, I'll set these aside, let these dry, and I'll get this out of here. The brushes on there. I'll get these out of the way. We'll use this again. Let me get this out of the way because I'm sure the glare isn't going to help. Okay, so that's the pieces for our first card. I'm going to put that aside, and now we're going to go on to our next card. So I have a basic white card base. This is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to go ahead and fold and burnish this. So, and then I have some scraps of Azure Afternoon, Lemon Lime Twist, Berry Burst. Let's see, there's Lemon Lolly. Probably can't see that. Lemon Lolly, Bubble Bath, and some white. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to use our Heartfelt Hexagon stamp set. And so I'm going to use, which one is this one? Not the one I need. Or dotted. And then the one that says Let's Eat Cake. And we'll need the little flower. Okay. I think that's all we need out of that. Okay, so let's go ahead and stamp. I'll get this block. And then, is that going to fit on there? Yep. And then, okay. Turn it aside. Alright, so get our punch. This is our Hexagon punch. And for this piece, we're going to only do a partial punch. So instead of putting the whole piece in like this, we're going to come in from here and kind of just, there's a very thin area that you can slide the cardstock in. Attempt to slide in. We kind of struggled with this earlier. And slide that in. It's not working. Let me get my trimmer and trim that down just a tiny bit. Okay. Just take a very tiny sliver off of it. Okay, we'll try this again. So we're just going to slide this in a little bit, and we're going to punch the end like so. Okay, and then with our, where's the instructions? Let me see the ink that they use, because we got two different blues. Okay, so the sentiment, let's eat cake, we're going to stamp that in Blueberry Bushel. Right down here. Like so. Okay. And then we're going to take our lemon lime twist and we're going to stamp our dotted outline. I'm going to put that right here. The measurements for these colored pieces were smaller, and that shifted. And we found that when we tried to stamp these dotted lines on it, it was very hard to line it up, to that partial half of a punched piece. So we found that it was just easier, stamp the image first, go ahead and punch it out, and then just cut it in half. So actually we have our little flower that we're going to stamp that in lemon lime twist as well. Like so. Then let's go ahead and punch this out. Just lining it up. And then the trimmer. And let's see, this is about 2 inches. So we're going to come to about 1 inch. So. And we're just going to, okay. So then this piece, we're going to go ahead and adhere. Okay, I'll put some adhesive on here. And we're going to add that to the top like so. Actually, let's trim this down just a little bit. Okay, now we're just going to go ahead and adhere this to the top like so. Okay, so that's one piece. I didn't put it on the top there. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing with the Azure Afternoon. I'm going to bring that ink in and clean off my stamp. Okay. I'm going to stamp this. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this. And then come in with Berry Burst. And we're going to go ahead and stamp the same image on our Berry Burst. And get these out of the way. Okay, what did I do? So then we're going to come in with our punch. We're going to go ahead and punch these out. And line it up. Center it in there. Okay. Alright, and then we're going to bring in our trimmer. And I'm going to go ahead and cut these down. Let's see, two. So we're going to go to 1. Do the same for this one. Make sure it's straight. Yeah. Then we're gonna punch out. Actually, we need to punch one more time. I'm gonna punch out 2 of these hexagons. Okay. All right. So we're going to adhere these to our hexagons. Put some adhesive on these. And then we're just going to adhere those onto one of the sides. Like so. Sure it's all lined up. Okay. And the Berry Burst. So, and then actually for this part, I'm going to bring in my liquid glue. I found it was a little bit easier to use this rather than using the seal. It's not very straight, is it? Okay. So I'm going to head and add a little bit of glue. It's clogged. It's clogged. So when that happens, I bring in a little sewing pin to clean out my tip. Then we'll close this up. Okay, so let's try this again. There we go. And then we're going to add a lemon lolly strip. So it shifted. Okay, and then we're going to take our bubble bath piece and we're going to add that under the berry burst. So, and then I'm going to bring in my trimmer and I'm going to go ahead and trim. Okay, let's just use the scissors. And just snip the excess off. Side. This one. Okay. So now we're going to take, let's see, where's our card base? We're going to get our dimensional and we're going to add some to the back of our pieces. And then for this piece, some of the white portion is going to get cut off. So I'm going to add my dimensionals pretty much from where this bubble bath strip is to the top here. Just make sure on the right side. Yeah, and right here. Okay, bring in our card base, and we're going to take our berry burst, and we're going to add this to the top of our card. We're going to center it, and we're just going to leave a little bit of the white showing up at the top of the card base. And then we're going to take our Azure afternoon piece And we're going to add that to the bottom. So we're going to kind of just eyeball this and line it up. Again, leaving just a little bit of border, like so. And then we're going to take our centerpiece and fit that right in the middle. And center that. So. And now this is where I will bring in my trimmer and we'll go ahead and trim the excess off of the side here. And actually, I am going to bring in my bigger guillotine trimmer. It'll be a little bit easier to do this. Okay, so I'm just going to bring this down a little bit so that way the edge of my card is lined up with the edge of the track. And I'll just cut that and I get a nice smooth cut. I'll do the same thing on this side. Bring this down a little bit. Just butt that up against it. Line that up. And go ahead and trim it. Move this out of the way. Okay. Okay, and now we're going to embellish this with the Tinsel Gems 4-pack. And let's see. We're going to use some of the Blueberry Bushel. Put some here. Put one up there. And then we'll take a lemon lime twist. Put one up here. And then 2 berry bursts. Let's see, how do we want to do this one? We'll go here and here with this one. Okay, so that's that card. It's just a little tiny bit different than their sample. They had used all the berry burst embellishments on there, and I elected to just use the colors that were in the cardstock to embellish it. Got a little bit of adhesive stuck on there. I can wipe that off. Okay, so let's go on to our third card, and that will be using the Circle Sayings bundle. So I'll put this card aside. Okay, put this one aside. Alright, so for this card we have an 8.5 by 5.5 inch piece of lemon lolly cardstock scored at 4 1/4. We're going to go ahead and fold that in half and burnish that. And then we have a piece of lemon lolly cardstock, basic white, and we also have a strip of Azure Afternoon. So let's see, we're going to start. Let me bring in my scratch paper. So for this, their instructions had, you were using the Lemon Lolly Stampin' Right marker. So the Stampin' Right markers, they look like this. These are water-based markers. So they have a brush tip on them, and there's also a fine tip. Now this is the old style. There's a new style that has a better writing tip. So this is one of the new ones. So the brush tip's about the same. And then the writing tip is just a little bit thicker as opposed to the fine tip on the other ones. So because I didn't have that lemon lolly marker, I do have my lemon lolly Stampin' Blends. These are Stampin' Up's alcohol markers. So I'm going to use the brush end, and I'm just going to add some lines across the cardstock like so. Nothing perfect. It doesn't have to be straight. They can be a little wonky. And then add another one here. Okay. And then we're going to bring in our 2 3/8 inch circle punch. And we're going to punch half of a circle. One from that end. And another from this end. Like so. Okay. And then for our white, our basic white, we're going to bring in our Circle Saying stamp set, and we're going to use the Sending You A. Let's see, put that on our block. And then we're also going to need the stamp that says Warm Hello. Let's see which one's Warm Hello. One right here. Go ahead and do that. And then let's see. Okay. Okay. So the stamping on here is done in Blueberry Bushel. You can move those out of the way. I'm going to ink this stamp up. Stamp this up here. Like so. And then we got to score that piece before we go ahead and stamp. So I'm going to bring in my punch and put this piece in here, and I'm going to line it up. So. Okay. And then for this piece, actually, we don't need the full circle. So we're going to cut some of this off. So we're going to come about, maybe about just a little bit over 1.5. Take that off. And then for our greeting strip, we're going to bring in the Stampin' Trimmer. Now this you can cut and you can also score. So for our piece, we're going to score that at 1 inch. 1 inch. Okay, and on our trimmer we have this dark one. This is the actual blade for cutting. We want that out of the way. We're not using it. And the lighter one is for scoring. So we're going to score that at 1 inch. 1.5, 4 inches, and 4.5. Okay, done with this. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and we're going to fold our score lines like so. So we're making a banner. So in the center part of this, we're going to stamp our greeting, warm hello. I'm going to stamp that right in the middle. Actually, let me fold these. It'll make it a little bit easier. Okay, let's stamp that right there, like so. Okay. All right. So on this piece, we're going to flag the ends. So this punch, offhand, I don't know the name of it, but it is current. It is in our annual catalog. And I am going to use this punch here. So I'm just going to go ahead and slide this in. Like so. And turn it around. Okay, so I'm just going to pull it back a little bit. Like so, and then punch. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other end. Okay, just as soon as it hits the edge there, and punch. And that way we flagged our ends. And then I'm going to add some adhesive right here. And just going to stick that down. And then add a little bit here. And then fold this over. And then do the same thing on this side. Fold this over like so. And then add a little bit of adhesive here. And fold this over. So this kind of gives our label a little bit of dimension. Looks like maybe I could take just a little bit off of the other end. Let's see if I can put this in here. Just take a little tiny bit more off. And you know what? We're not going to do it. It's not really going in any further, so we're just going to leave it that way. Okay. Move that. So we're going to go ahead and put dimensionals on this piece. Like so. And then on these pieces, we're going to add some adhesive. Okay, bring in our card base. take one of our circle, our lemon lolly circle. We're going to put it up here. And then our sending you A, we're going to put that about there. Let's center that. And then our other half a circle, we're going to come down a little bit, about, let's see, up a little bit, about here. And then we're going to add our warm hello tag about there. And then we're going to bring in our embellishments. And we're going to add a couple of these lemon lime twist ones, which they actually look like lemon lolly. They look yellow. Put another one here. And then we'll add another small one right up here. Okay, so that's actually the third card. So now let's go back to our first card. Now that we gave that a chance to dry. So here's our card base. And then here's our other pieces. These are dry now. So I'm going to go ahead and add some adhesive to the back of these two blue pieces. So, and then we're going to add some dimensionals to the back of this, to our greeting piece. So, and then for our leaf, we're going to add some adhesive to this. We're not going to worry about putting it on the stem because it will be covered by the greeting piece and that'll hold it down. Just going to add some of this. So, and then for this piece here, I'm going to bring in some tiny glue dots that were from an old paper pumpkin kit. And I'm going to add a couple of those onto here. Put one here, and then one more up here. Okay. We're going to take these off. Okay. So now let's go ahead and assemble our card. So we're going to take one of our blue pieces and we're going to add that right over here. Our other one, we're going to stagger it a little bit. Bring it over just a little bit over here. We're going to take our leaf. I'm going to kind of bend on the score lines that the die created, just to give this a little bit of dimension, like so. And I'm going to add that leaf right over here. And then our other piece, we're going to kind of put that next to it, like so. Put that down. And then our greeting, we're going to go ahead and put that right over the top, like so. Okay, and then we're going to embellish this as well with our gems, and we're going to use the blueberry bushel ones. So we're going to add one down here, and then little one here, and another one right up here. Okay, so that's the third card. So again, the original one, this is what it looked like. This is my version of it with what I had. So let me bring in the three cards that we had done. So there was this card here, our first card, done with the, which one is this one? Earthen textures. It was done with that bundle. Then this one is Heartfelt Hexagon. And then this one here is Circle Sayings. You think I would have these names? Let me make sure I got them all in the camera for you to see. Okay, just there's a little bit of a delay. Move it down a little bit more. A little bit. And down. Okay, guys. So I apologize for a bit of technical difficulties I was having earlier. Like I said, this was actually my first longer live that I did on Facebook. I did a really quick one 2 different times a few weeks ago, but this one is a little bit different. This is the full tutorial of card making. I invite you to join me on my YouTube channel every Thursday. Like I said, I have Throwback Thursday, and that focuses on retired products. Then on Saturdays, I have another series of Step It Up Saturday. That's where I will create a simple to wow card. And then there's also going to be a showcase of Paper Pumpkin around the middle of the month. So when I get the new kit, I will then go and create one of each of the projects in that kit. And then usually by then we also kind of have a sneak peek into what the next month's kit's going to be. So that's coming soon. And like I said, I plan on in the future doing my lives on YouTube. However, just at the moment, I'm unable to film it through my cell phone because you need at least 50 subscribers. So if you can help me out, I would truly appreciate if you could visit my Blue City Stampin' Studio YouTube channel. There are some videos that are on there. You know, give them a watch, like, comment, share if you would like, and also subscribe, you know, to the page and give it a thumbs up. All of that really helps a lot in helping me build my Stampin' Up business. So again, thank you everyone for joining me tonight, and happy World Card Making Day. And I look forward to joining you on the next live. So have a good night, everyone. Bye bye.